0.
Good morning, everybody. I have the pleasure to open the second day of this conference with some reflections on day 1 and some outlook to day 2. I'm just going to open my slides while I'm talking. So I'm Douglas Robinson. I'm a senior researcher at the CNRS here in France, but I'm also a member of Mariana Mazzucato's group at UCL, mission-oriented policies, as you might guess. So maybe I start with a brief reminder of what happened yesterday. So technology for society, innovation well for inclusive transitions. We saw a fantastic high-level roundtable, which I will come to in a moment, keynote with science and technology studies lenses to inform policy. The first panel, the first of 4 panels, looking at upstream inclusion and a conversation on values-driven development. So I've been tasked in 5 minutes to draw some insights from day 1, a massive task, a lot of discussions, but particularly striking were 4 kind of topics that emerged through the discussion. So pace of policy, needs of practice, values, are they front and center, missions, societal goal-driven policies, and inclusivity from engagement to co-creation. So I'm going to walk you through these 4 foods for thought and then introduce the rest of the day. So pace of policy, needs and practices. One thing we heard about was the accelerating pace of change and the acceleration of policy cycles, which led to us discussing, well, technologies emerge rapidly, but disruptive innovation can be beyond societal absorptive capacity. So there are issues there. Policy is challenged to rapidly respond to crisis and anticipate. So agile and informed in real time is necessary. And one of the solutions were strategic intelligence for rapid decision making. And so we saw some different types of strategic intelligence, forecasting, foresight, TA being mobilized. But of course, its production and use is strongly nationally and context dependent. But a key challenge, and this was in the chat in the opening session, so I put this in here because it's interesting. It's a challenge to embed such strategic intelligence into the heart of policy making. So values, front and center. So value-centered approaches were across the whole of the day's discussions yesterday. We heard terms like open, free, and inclusive values to be included into technology innovation, democracy-affirming technologies. We heard at the end of the day, mission-oriented policies must be inclusive and co-created, is my paraphrasing of some discussions in the opening session and in the panel 1. But of course, there are challenges. I mean, values differ across communities. Values evolve. Values are embedded in technologies, but also can be used to discriminate. So, I mean, we heard a little bit about the different uses around privacy and data protection for employers and employees and how that may lead to misuse if not anticipated. So anticipatory governance is key. Now, missions, societal goal-driven policies was another topic that came up, goal-driven and mission-oriented to set directions for innovation ecosystems to achieve those societal goals. And as a means of strategic science cooperation and coordination, we heard at the end of the day about the US looking for strategic science cooperation and linking a little bit with mission-oriented policies. So there are challenges and opportunities there. Balancing top-down leadership with bottom-up inspirations and wisdom came up. Whole government approaches, cross-ministry and joined-up policy making. We all know that's a challenge. Real-time steering and monitoring. So how do you measure mission contributions? But of course, there was an opportunity brought up. Goal orientation for technology and innovation policy provides inroads for citizens and other stakeholder inclusion. So inclusivity, topic 4, we had a theme from engagement to co-creation. So there are various rationales for inclusion that came up yesterday. Societal buy-in, so transparency, trust and education. Democracy, citizens have their say in the directions of technical change. And harnessing potential, creative ideas come from a wide range of stakeholders. So how do you really harness inclusivity to drive forward creative solutions? Challenges and opportunities. Well, co-creation of policies was an opportunity and a challenge. User-producer interfaces to inscribe the right values into technologies and their deployment was a theme that came up. And how to nurture and harness bottom-up technology innovation while coupling with regulation and governance. How do you have this distributed innovation process whilst also mobilizing governance tools and approaches? Now, capacity building is essential for this, for both includers and the included. So this was key in the panel 1 discussion yesterday. So rapidly moving on, I only have 10 minutes for this session, so I am speeding. Day 2. So let me walk you through the day. So that's 3 panels at least. So at 12 o'clock, you have panel 2, developing emerging technology for critical missions. So goal and mission oriented approaches, so evidence, examples, and open questions will be discussed. I'll come to this panel in a moment. Panel 3, setting goals and agendas through foresight and participatory processes. My take on this, only my take, is we're talking about strategic intelligence for directionality, so context, tools, and practices. And then panel 4, tools of upstream technology governance, soft law, standards, and ethics by design. For me, this is all about anticipatory governance, so tools and insights for upstream governance of technologies for a just transition. So panel 2, what we're going to be moving into very shortly, developing emerging technology for critical missions. So you would have seen these questions up front in the agenda. So present calls for goal-oriented and transformative innovation display a new level of urgency to better connect emerging technologies to specific SDGs. How can policies and practices by government and other stakeholders help ensure that the development of novel technologies address the most important problems? And how might governance and inclusive processes help meet this challenge? So what we have are 3 panels. Here we are. Those are the 3 panels. You will see online further descriptions. The key element of this is to connect technology development and innovation with societal challenges, be they missions or sustainable development goals or other types of societally driven challenges. So what kind of knowledge is necessary to guide policy to manage technology portfolios towards various societal challenges? These are key questions. So this panel, panel 2, will be digging deep into different technology domains. Of course, you have to pick one, but as I understand, there will be recordings post-event, so you'll be able to enjoy all 3 panels in the future. And so with that rapid run, I thank you.